Right, well, apparently I'm live. Don't know if anybody can hear me. But yeah, apparently I'm live. Don't know if the audio is okay or not. If somebody can just let me know. And if you can see a picture of a box. You can see a box and you can hear me. Excellent. Well, that's good stuff. That's a great start, James. Now the unfortunate bit, you get to see me as well. I'm terribly sorry about that. So I hope the video is okay. It's yeah, it's a bit like Scott said in James's screen, not several moments ago. Space is a little bit different where I'm living at the moment. I have got another room downstairs, which is a lot bigger, but it isn't set up and it isn't warm and it's echoey. Yeah, it's a one-off. There is only one, James. It's even got a back on it. Hang on. Whether you can see that, there is a back to it too. Yeah, it was a moment of madness that there was an offer on, and it was like, upload your stuff, and I think it cost me about £8. So I thought, oh, I'll do one. So I did one. I don't intend on selling them because it would be a bit like the DMDC fleeces. If people know what I'm talking about, I'd have to buy 5,000. But anyway, that's not what we're here for. I did say it would be a crap stream, didn't I? We have a box. Let's go back to the box, shall we? There we go. There's a box. Now in this box, apparently is a printer. Is it reversed? What, my t-shirt's reversed? Oh, don't tell me that camera's backwards. It is, isn't it? Right, I can deal with that. Hang on. Just let me deal with that. I will deal with that for you. Just bear with me. There you go. Now I should be the right way around. Haha. Damn cameras. Anyway, back to the box. The box is the important bit. So yeah. I had, how can I explain this? I'll let me put myself back on camera for a minute. This printer, I nearly bought the Mini about 2 weeks ago. The issue is I have the X1 Carbon, which is behind me here, which you can't really see because of the way I've set the lighting up. But I've got the X1 Carbon, which I paid, I don't know, whatever it was, about 1,400 quid for about this time last year. Fantastic machine. Used it a fair bit. Collie, by the way, thanks for joining the stream. I appreciate that, mate. And as the guys who know me know, I sold an awful lot of printers. I had an awful lot of stuff at one stage. I used to get lots of freebies in the good old days. Sold them all. Gave me enough money to get the X1 Carbon, which I bought, and I was left with my Prusa Mini, which I do use every now and again. In fact, again, as a couple of you will know, I actually did a print on a 4.5-hour drive in my camper van when I went down to Smurf. And I've got 3 other printers left. I've got the Sekit Go, which is in pieces, and because I stole parts of the hot end and bits and pieces off it. I have my Mark III, which I turned into my Prusa Mark III, which I turned into a bare printer, and then I had a failure with the hot end and it broke all the plastic, and I sort of put it under the desk and it's just sat there. And I've got a Creality Ender 5, which also has issues. And after Smurf, the same as Scott was saying, or even James was saying, after Smurf, I got a bit of energy back. I'd done some prints for Wexter for the trip to Smurf because he couldn't bring anything over with him. So he got 2 or 3 people out of the community, 2 or 3 people, friends of his, that we all chat on Discord and stuff like that. And we printed some stuff for him and we brought it over. And it made his table look nice, and every time somebody asked, "Oh, did you do these?" It was, "No, no, it was printed by my mates that sat behind me here," and stuff. Anyway, I kinda got back into printing because 'cause I'd gone through the doldrums and I couldn't really, the printer was sat there, it wasn't doing anything. I was doing the odd bit of stuff where something would break at work, or the partner would want something, or the daughter would want something, and I'd fire the printer up and get something working, but apart from that, never really got into it. But Smurf really sort of reinvigorated me, and I thought, well, I want another printer because having one printer plus the Prusa Mini, not a big build volume. It does print well, but it's slow, and I'd like a second printer. So when they bought out the A1 Mini with the multi-material, I nearly jumped on it. And then a week or so ago, whatever it was, 10 days ago, there was talk about this one coming. And yeah, it was a case of I'll hold off, I'll hold off. And I honestly, until the price was physically released, um, I wasn't certain I was going to pull the trigger. I had their website up, the sales page up at 2 o'clock on Thursday, hitting refresh, just pressing F5 right up till 2 o'clock. 2 o'clock it came live. I saw the price. I pulled the trigger. I thought, do you know what? 500 and whatever it was, 15 quid, I think, all in, delivered. Now, the first thing about that is well done to Bambu Lab for the whole of that. The website didn't slow down. The website didn't crash. I went through the whole process of ordering it without any hiccups. Order went through straight away. At 5 o'clock that night, I got a message to say that DPD had been told that my parcel was ready. The following day, which was the Friday, I got messages from DPD saying, "We've got it. It'll go to your nearest warehouse and we'll deliver it on Monday." And I thought, fair enough, weekend, you have to allow for these things. And then on Saturday morning, lo and behold, DPD, we're going to deliver your new printer to you between 1:10 and 2:10 in the afternoon. Well, at about 1:10, it turned up. Hello, hiya Karen, you all right, love? So yeah, it turned up. So that was fantastic. So I have waited over 24 hours to open this blooming box because I've been waiting for you lot. I mean, all right, I've had to set some bits and pieces up to actually get a stream going, but because I haven't streamed in centuries. But so yeah, so we now have a box, which is this thing that's over here. That. So what we're going to do is we are going to open it up. We're going to have a look at it, but because I'm quite short of space, I don't think I'm going to be able to set it up to print. What I'll have to do is I'll have to completely reconfigure my room again, get it set up next to the X1 Carbon, and then turn all my cameras and my computers and everything else around to the other side of the room so we can actually do some work with it. But I'll certainly get it set up. So we're going to look, like I say, from beginning to end. So it's a box. It's a good solid box. It's well put together. It's nice and thick. But we won't prat about. I'm sorry if my hands get in the way a lot. I will move the camera as I see fit. If you hear any screaming in the background, it's my 20-year-old daughter on her Discord. I think she's playing Apex Legends. I've just sent her a text message and told her to shut up for the next hour or so. Whether that works or not, I don't know. But we can but try, can't we? So what you can't see at this present moment is, I'll just tilt the camera up a little for you. There is a label here. That label says straight away, keep this box. So, and there's a QR code on there as well, which is scan. If you scan the QR code, it shows you the unboxing video, so it shows you what to do. So you open the box like that, and as Bambu Labs always are, again, you can't see. Let me lift the camera up a little for you. We've got the sticky labels on either side of the lid, and the plastic bag is, you see, this is why it's probably the worst unboxing video ever, because generally mine are. They are a bit rough. Yeah, so we've got the stickers on here that told you to grab the plastic bag and pull the box out. So what we'll do is we might have to do this bit off camera because trust me, if you could see the state of my room at the moment, it's fairly appalling. So what I'm going to do, I'm just going to slide this off the desk onto the floor, pull it out, chuck it back on, and so you get to look at a wall for a minute, which must be so exciting for you. If anybody's fallen asleep already, I do apologise. So I'm just moving the box to the other side of the room. Ugh! It's not that heavy, actually. It's just a matter now of getting... Right, so off camera, I am now struggling to get the printer out of the box because it doesn't want to come out. So I'm giving it a good old shake. I think it's vacuum packed into... Ah, there we go. Right. Stand by for crunchy noises. Right, so we'll move the camera again now because we don't want to see that. We want to see something that looks a bit like that. Oh, the focus is going all wobbly now. Do you know? Quality production you've got going on here, guys. Right, so this is what's in the cardboard box. So again, brilliantly packaged. Hello, Richard. I'm going to do that piece of camera in a minute for you. So we've got some of those wonderful plasticky things, which I'm sure the missus could have done with last week for packing Christmas presents, but hey ho. We have the build service and the quick start guide. Now, what I found out from Adam's stream the other day, which he did at 2 o'clock on the day of release, he tore his to pieces and showed us everything that was inside. I will put a link to that video on here after I finish because I will keep this video up. But it's the gold textured PEI sheet, and the fantastic thing about this is it will fit in the X1 Carbon. So I've now got one of those that I can use in the X1 Carbon, and I've got the smooth PEI sheet that I can use in this. So that's brilliant. I'm really pleased about that. So we've also got the obligatory quick start guide, which I don't think anybody will read, but again, for the people that this printer is aimed at, a good thing, because we all know who this printer is aimed at. It's not aimed at makers per se. It's certainly not made for pretty fidgeters. I've got a different box, sorry. It's aimed at people that want to click and print, and click and print they will, and I think it's a fantastic idea. Karen seems to think that hers is worse. Hers is worse. Is it what, your setup's worse or your ability to unbox a printer? Right, so the first thing that we get, these are these filament swatches. Again, a fantastic idea if you haven't seen these before. I'm sure most of you have. Am I going to be able to get in this box without tearing it to pieces? Probably not. I'm probably best off just not trying to be delicate. Probably best off just tearing it to pieces. So, there's a little pulley out. So yes, if you haven't seen these before, this is a set of swatches of all the filaments that Bambu sell. So these are actual. I think some of them are actually 3D. Well, that one's certainly 3D printed because it's got the textured finish on it. I think some of them are 3D printed and some of them are injection molded, but they are the actual colors of the filament. So if you see one that's textured on the back like that, that's been done on a printer, which then tells me, it tells you what it is, PLA tough. So if you're looking for a specific color, you've got the swatch here. You can pick up, get the exact color. I think that is a fantastic idea. I really do think that is brilliant, because if you're looking for a specific color for a specific task, You can look at as many photographs as you like on Amazon or anywhere else. You're not going to get the right, you're not going to get the exact match with this. As long as you buy bamboo filaments, which I know are slightly more expensive than a lot, but you're going to get what you want, which is, I think, is a fantastic idea. So yeah, that's what that is. Now, everybody else I've seen who has got a kit with their box, and this one comes with a kit as well. I don't know if anybody's noticed which one it is yet. Everyone I've seen has been the jet engine, and I thought to myself, well, it looks quite good, but I don't know whether I want the jet engine or not. Well, the good thing about this is I didn't get it. I've got a triple axis tourbillon model. Now, I've absolutely no idea what the chuff that is. Oh, sorry, put it in short for you. Absolutely no idea what it is or what it does, but I will be making it, and you can come along for the journey. Maybe I might do a little stream of putting it together. I might not. I might throw it at the wall when I can't get it to work. But that's what I've got: a triple axis tourbillon model. So yeah, we'll have to look that up. Again, it's got a QR code on it to scan, and that will send you to a set of plates that will print exactly what you need. The unfortunate thing is they don't give you the colors to get it the same as that. You have to buy those. So everything else that's in the top, there is a kit box. Now this, again, for the people that this printer is aimed at, this is fantastic. I know we've all got Allen keys coming out of our ears and one thing and another, but to get a setup like that, so you've got a what I call an acupuncture needle for cleaning out nozzle blocks. You've got two Allen keys. You've got a spare wipe pad for the nozzle, which sits on the back of the bed surface. I'm not sure what that is. That's possibly for dividing the PTFE tubes up before they go into the head. I'm not sure. We've got lubricating oil and lubricating grease. We've got some filament cutters, and I think that's probably a blade for making a scraper, which is good because mine's actually gone a bit rusty. Screw for the purge wiper, which is written on it, which is brilliant. Everything's labelled really nicely, as you would come to expect. Screws for the base of the housing, which are all the same size, as Adam proved to us on Thursday. Screws for the AMS stand, and the screws for the scraper. So everything you need. Nice little neat box. I think, again, for the people that this printer is marketed at, I think this is exactly the way to go. Really nice, really simple, really straightforward. So where are we now? Do you have a discount for the year or something because you've just got a new? I believe there is something, and I believe I had one when I got my X1 Carbon, and I didn't even know. So that's typical of me. So that's the stand for the AMS, or the AMS Lite as it's called. It's just injection molded plastic with some rubber feet on it. It's quite flimsy, really. I mean, it's not heavy gauge, but then I don't suppose it needs to be. I'm running out of places to put things now. I did hear a couple of people talking about the packing and the fact it's packed in an awful lot of foam, and it's not very good for the environment and one thing or another. But at the end of the day, we're printing plastic filament and throwing most of it into landfill because we can't do a lot else with it. So I don't think having a well-packed box is too much of an issue. That's just personally. So we've got the 4 spring-loaded heads, the AMS unit, which look like something out of Space 1999 or something similar. There's only a certain couple of people in here that will know that reference, but they're little spring-loaded spool holders. Clever little design. They've got like a spring steel bit in there, which one's on a roll, but and they are color-coded. So it tells you pair with the yellow rollers, pair with the green rollers, so you can't get them on the wrong ones because 2 go one way and 2 go the other, I believe. Again, I'm guessing a lot of this. Anybody fallen asleep yet? 11 people watching and 2 thumbs up. Well, that ain't bad going. Not for me, anyway. I don't know whether that's supposed to come. Oh, no, it's going to come out the other way. Right, so we're going to lift this top layer off. Layer 2. So in here, oh, it's just like Christmas. We seem to have the main body of the AMS light, which looks like something Sir Clive Sinclair has designed. Put 2 wheels on it. You could cycle it down the road. And then you've got your 4 filament what's it doobry things there with lots of cogs and gears and stuff. And they're numbered. So you make sure you get the right ones, spools on the right ones. Look, you've got your yellow, your green, your yellow, your green. It's all. And then they're numbered on the top as well, which is good. I'm not getting anything in shot, am I? I'm terribly sorry. So there you go. Yeah, so that's that part of that with its plug there, which I'm guessing is what goes into the body of the printer. I'm quite sad this isn't compatible with the X1 Carbon, because it would have been lovely to have that and then being able to print in 8 colours rather than 4. But can't have everything in the world, can you? So what else have we got in this layer? We've got right, that I believe is the single spool holder for the top, which has got some sort of that's the filament path by the look of that. But I thought that was something to do. I could be wrong. Oh, no, it is, because look, there's the spool bit on there, so that screws onto there. Your roller filament goes on there, and then it runs through there, and then down and into the print head. So yeah, that's your single spool filament holder that sits on the top. Anybody asleep? Oh no, we haven't all dropped off just quite yet. You can talk, you know. You can ask questions as well. I believe that is the filament cutter, which goes on the end. I'm guessing that's what it is, because it does say keep clear of moving parts. They told me that 20 years ago. We have a bog standard lead. Good to see. A1 Mini had a cable that went straight into the back of the printer, and that was a lot of people's biggest bugbears, whereas this is what I call a kettle lead. I know it's not the proper name for it, but that's what I've always known it as. It's a kettle lead. The advantage to that is that, I mean, that's probably a meter of cable there, maybe. If you can't get that to fit where your plug socket is, you can soon buy a longer cable without any trouble at all. You can get them all over the place. So that's good. I'm pleased with that. It's the poop shooter. Okay, right. So I think that's it for that layer. Yep, looks to be it. There doesn't seem to be anything hiding anywhere. I have done unboxings before and left things in the box. It has been known. So it looks like we're down to the final 2 parts here. So we've got the gantry system, which looks a lot like that. Funnily enough, well, it would look a lot like that. So it's incredibly well packaged, lots of foam. You've got tie wraps to hold things together. That is a point. I just want to point one thing out. There's something that's suddenly become missing from 3D printers, and I think it should come back, because I've lost all of mine. They don't send side cutters anymore. Every machine you used to get used to have a pair of side cutters in it, and now they've stopped doing it. Now, Bambu Labs, if you're watching this, ha 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 ha, I can dream. You give everybody everything in the kit to be able to build the printer, put it all together, make it all wonderful. If you'd put a pair of side cutters in, they could also have cut these wonderful cable ties off. So not only could they have used it for cutting their filament and making it straight, they could have also used it for when they're unboxing and making the printer. It would cost you next to nothing to put a pair in, but it would also mean that the whole experience of buying the printer and getting it running, you don't need any other tools at all. Everything in the box is all you need to get your computer running. So, computer, printer running. So, just a little tip for the future, Bambu Lab, if you happen to be watching, pair of side cutters, then people can snip, 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 snip without having to go scratching around. Because if this is somebody's first 3D printer, they're not likely to have a pair of side cutters. So you're going to have people with bread knives or pairs of scissors or goodness knows what trying to cut through these. And they are quite thick. And you're going to end up with people scratching the frame or putting it through their hands or all that sort of thing. So a thought, just a thought, maybe put a pair in. In fact, I would love all 3D printer companies to go back to putting a pair of side cutters in because, like I say, I think it's quite important. I think it's something that they've missed a trick on. So, gantry, X-axis, print head, AMS adapter at the top there. Yeah, a bit of a cable. Little camera there, which everybody's moaning about. It's got a little shield over it. So if anybody's scared that they don't want the Chinese seeing what you're doing in your print room, you can cover the camera up just in case. We don't know what you might be doing, but a lot of people have bemoaned the fact that the frame rate on it is very slow. It's perfect for doing time lapses. It's perfect for getting your app out while you're shopping with the family or in the bathroom or whatever you happen to be doing, and taking a quick look and seeing that your print isn't knackered. It doesn't need to be of a high stream quality for you just to check that your printer's still printing all right. Or if it's finished printing and you've got that notification on your phone, you can quickly flick and look and see if you can see your finished print. So it doesn't need to be all singing, all dancing. I think it does the job it's there for, and I think people are moaning about it are just finding a reason to moan. Beautiful construction, nicely folded steel or whatever it is, aluminium frame. It is a linear bearing across there. I mean, you've seen all this. You've seen all the other people do their bit. Like I said, this is just my janky version of it. Have a bit of a, oh, you probably can't, but I was going to show you. There you go. That's what the print head looks like from the bottom. So yeah, I'm interested in looking at how well you can swap the nozzles out. I'm going to get a couple of extra nozzles because this new system looks really good. Oh, focus. That's the plug that sits underneath the main base of the printer. So that's that. So I'll just chuck this. Oh, there's a light there as well. I don't know whether that's anything to do with any of the calibrations or whether it's just to light up your print. I honestly don't know. Bear with me while I throw this in the corner. Try not to stand on it. So then we are down to, you see how nicely this is coming out the box? That just opens up like that, look. And then we can just lift this piece out. Right, I'm just going to grab these bits out the bottom. In the bottom, we've got enough PLA to print, not a lot really. Nice spool would have been nice, but again, price point. PTFE tubes, which we'll have great pleasure in putting in later. A big bag of desiccant, because, you would. So we'll now move this piece of mod now I've now got on my table. We'll now move that out of the way. Carefully, of course. So that comes up and out of the way like that. And then we will bring this bit. Now this is incredibly light. Now again, thanks to Adam at Vector 3D, when he did his teardown, he found out that there isn't a heat pad in this for heating this surface. it's actually got a heating element in it. And since then, people have gone at it with FLIR cameras and stuff to show up. It's actually got the same kind of heating element you would have in an electric oven or a mini oven, that kind of thing. So basically, it comes down, it goes round in a loop like that, goes up, goes round there, it comes round in a loop like that, and goes back up again. Now, it's a new way of coming at a heat bed for certain. A few people have noted that one of the corners, I think it's possibly this one, um, doesn't get up to the same temperature as the rest of the bed. It will get to 100 degrees. You will be able to print, your more delicate, or certainly your plastics that need a higher temperature bed. But you'll just have to bear in mind, if you're doing a print that covers the whole of the bed, this corner will be a little bit cooler. So if you're worried about warping, maybe put a foot on it round there, or a bit of a skirt on it to help hold it down. But it will get to 100 degrees, so that's good. That's your nozzle wipe on the back there. This is your doody little screen that rotates around like that and then goes back again, and that sort of pops into position. So again, you might think, well, why on earth have you got that? Again, it's down to the idea of people who are new to 3D printing, don't have to start putting screws in and trying to get bits into extrusions and T-nuts and stuff. They literally just turn it around. So SD cards, micro SD card slot, I'll get there in a minute. Micro SD card slot in the front with a micro SD card in it, which is nice to see. It's also nice to see it's a micro SD card slot, so you can, if you are worried that Bambu Labs are going to steal your life away, you are capable of printing on the machine, saving it to an SD card, putting an SD card into the printer and printing, if you feel that worried about it. So it's there. So yeah, it's a mains voltage heat bed. It's a 7 amps. And then basically, all you've got underneath, that's where your fitting goes in from your gantry. There's a USB-C in the bottom of here, and then you've got a green-coloured plug for the X motor, a yellow-coloured for the Z motor, and a white one for the camera. This is showing you the green screws. This is all about putting it together. It tells you which screws to take out, which screws to put in. It's very clean. It's on. Those are very soft. You probably can't. You certainly can't see that. Very soft rubber feet. If I actually bring those up to you, you can see those deforming. They're almost like the hollow. It's the best way of describing that. So they're like a thin skin. It feels almost like a sock for a nozzle. It's the same kind of plastic. So that's actually hollow. So I can push that down with my thumb, and that flicks about like that. Now I believe the 2 feet that are on the bottom of the gantry are solid. So that means when you've got the gantry on, you've got a bit of flex forwards and backwards like that. Now, I mean, whether that's a design feature or not, I have no idea. No idea at all. I don't know what that is there. I probably shouldn't do that. See, there's some screws in there, which I'm sure you're not supposed to get to, but it's a cover. I'm going to take it off and look. I'm sure somebody in the chat will be able to tell you what. Oh, no, this is locked in place. So that's what those green screws are. So those green screws in the bottom are holding the carriage on so it doesn't slop about. So the first thing you do is take those 4 out, and then it'll slide backwards and forwards. Just to show you around the back. So you've got 2 ports at the back. One is used for the AMS light. The other one at the moment doesn't have a use, but apparently it will have a use in the future, maybe. What that is for, nobody knows. I don't know whether we saw that on Adam's live stream, what was behind there, but he did find that behind the sockets underneath, there are some down here which are blanked off. That's literally a sticker over the top, and there are actually some holes under there. There's one there, I can feel it. So that might be for something in the future. Your input for your power supply, strain relief, you can't, I don't know whether you can see that there, look. Strain relief there is like a plastic clip, but that isn't going to go anywhere. That seems to be fairly solidly put together. Now, I have heard a couple of people having issues when they've been printing, that they can't get the print bed sat properly. If only there was a quick start guide. Shut up! We don't do quick start guides here. You should know that. So yeah, there is a little concern that people have, when they've put the build surface on like that, there are some tiny little tabs at the back here. I mean, having the other machine, I'm used to this. They are, in fact, slightly bigger on the other machine. I'll just pull this protective plastic off the top because nobody needs that, do they? Right, you can play your own strange music in the background if you like. I'm not one for that. So we'll just peel that back. See, I can't even get it off in one piece. I told you this would be rubbish. I'll tell you what, it's stickier than normal, said the actress to the bishop. Oh, actually, look, there's a tab there. Ha! That helps to pull it off. So, what was I talking about? That's a nice piece of aluminium, is that? Something else, rubber feet. There's rubber feet on there as well. Again, why? I'm not sure. And then those are your magnets which make your bed stick. But there are, which you probably can't see, there's a tiny one there, a tiny one there, and they're little raised tabs that you're supposed to put the back of your print surface up against. So I always slide it on like that, get it home, and then drop it down. And then you can just make 100% sure that it's sat square. What I've seen other people complain about is they've gone at it and it's gone up like that. So that side is above the pin and then it's scratching at the textured surface. Well, if you can't put a bed on square, I mean, I don't know whether it says about it in the manual or not. I don't know. But that's doesn't look difficult to me. I like the fact that's double-sided as well. That's always good. So that just sits, goes on like that, nice and firm. So yeah, that's what you get in the box. I don't know what else to tell you, really. Like I say, I haven't really got the room to put it together here. Is there anything that I don't have to tear to pieces, totally destroy, scratch or break that anybody would like a bit of a closer look up? While I'm here, I've got a camera and I can zoom in, look at stuff, look at how stuff is built. Like I say, I'm not ripping it to pieces. Don't call me Adam. I paid for my machine. That was bitchy. Behave. But yeah, if there is anything anybody would like a closer look at, now is the moment to ask. The AMS light feels quite light, if you know what I mean. It's all molded plastic. It's all quite thin. I was expecting it to be a heavier gauge than that, but I'm sure they've done testing to a degree that they're sure it's going to be all right. I think, you know, I might get away with actually, when I get this built, having it on here, because if that's there, I'm going to mess something up now, aren't I? That's my screw. See, that's going to fit there. So I can actually get it all on this table. So that's good. So we might do something with that at some stage. I'm really just not set up for it. The build process is going to be funny. Does it? Right. Nozzle wipe. I'll show you, James. So the nozzle wipe, can you see that there? That is rubber. Trying to think of what it's a bit like. But that's your nozzle wipe. So it comes to the back and it runs the nozzle across that piece of rubber there. And that wipes your nozzle. So it's back left of the print bed. So it'll go to the back, go over, wipe the nozzle there, and then carry on doing what it's doing. So yeah, that's where the nozzle wipe is, and you get a spare one of those as well. So I think that's quite cool. Anybody who's had the X1 Carbon, that has like the roller at the back, which is like a bit of PTFE tube on a roller, basically, which it goes and wipes on, which is like a spring-loaded flappy thing. It'll be interesting to see how that works in comparison. But yeah, that's where the nozzle wipe is, James. Silicone brush. Oh, I'm terribly sorry. It's a silicone brush. There's always one, isn't there? So yeah, hang on. Let me just redirect myself. So I'm just going to. I'm sorry about this. You're now going to get an awfully bad picture, and there it is, the awfully bad picture. So yeah, that's basically what you're looking at. Be fancy. Behave yourself. So yes, is there anything else anybody would like to look at? Speak now. Where we go from here. Um, the whole 9 of you that are watching, the whole 9 of you, if you would like me to actually stream putting it together, we can arrange that. We can do it. It probably won't be today. It might be because I quite like to get it running. But I mean, I'm itching to get it running, in fairness to you. I can live stream later on today, probably this evening, and we'll get it put together. Because now I know it fits on that table, and I've got a camera on that table. As much as it's not the best thing for you guys to see, I think probably if I say 7 o'clock with a glass of gin tonight, I will come back on. We will put it together. We will fire it up, and we'll do maybe a test print or 2. And if anybody comes up with anything in the meantime that they want to ask or they want to see, well, we'll sort that out. Oh, it's not looking at me. It's got look at me. Look at me. We'll sort that out, and we'll get it up and printing. If anybody needs me to stare into the camera and tell their significant other he needs this printer, let him have this printer. Not looking at anybody in particular. Richard Burke, yes, assembling with alcohol. I mean, that is kind of how I work, isn't it? Assembling with alcohol. It's kind of the way I work. Yeah. But yeah, if anybody does want to drop in this evening, like I say, I'll set something up for 7 o'clock. That's UK time because that's where I am. My other half is in Ukraine, so no good telling her. You can put a link into the video. But it wasn't, in fairness, it wasn't actually pointed at you. It was actually pointed at Richard and his beautiful, beautiful wife. Because Richard does actually print quite a lot, which he sells at local craft fairs and stuff. And he's using, I believe he's got a Prusa Mini at the moment. Now, he does fantastic stuff with that printer, and he really does do a good job with it. But if he had a printer that could print in 4 colors, it would just make his life so much easier. It would make printing that stuff that he then sells at his craft fairs a lot quicker, which means he would have more time for the family. Now, I can't see that being anything but a win-win situation for both Richard and the family. It's a larger build surface as well, so he'll get more on it. So the way I look at it, it's a no-brainer for you, Richard. It really is. It's designed with you in mind. It really is. I mean, you can wait until the middle of next year. Oh yes, you do, but you can't do multicolor with that, mate. I believe there is rumours that next year they are going to bring this out again, but it's going to be bigger. They're going for they're not going to. I mean, they probably will push a Core XY enclosed with a bigger build surface, but I have heard that there will be an A1 that will be bigger. That is the rumor. That is the people that I know who know have, in a roundabout kind of way, said to me on odd occasions, there will be another one this next year, and it will be bigger, and it will be based on the A1 line. So this is where you heard the rumor first. I'm not telling you it's gospel. Things change. But this is what I've heard, that there will be, whether it will be called an A1 Max or whatever it might be called, the rumor is out there that that's what they're doing. Now, whether they're going to do a larger Core XY with an enclosure before then, I don't know. But it's on the cards. I mean, we all know what they're doing. There's no two ways about it. They've looked at Prusa, they've looked at Prusa's lineup, and they've gone. I mean, people should have realised when they bought out a printer called an A1 Mini. You should have thought to yourselves, A1 Mini, Prusa Mini. Okay, right. So they're pushing an exact, not a replica, but exactly the same design printer at the Prusa Mini for less money, easier to use. Where were they going to go next? They were going to have to go at the Mark III or the Mark IV, weren't they? It had to happen. So let's try and grab some of the market from their Mark III and their Mark IV by building bed slinger, 256 by 256 by 256, which is a decent build volume, which is cheap enough. Well, yeah, the amount of people I met a lot of people at Smurf, and a lot of them were the XL, the Prusa XL, the tool changer, how wonderful it is. And it is. I watched it work. Shane showed me around it. It is a beautiful machine. I would love to own one. I'm not going to lie to you. It really is beautiful. If you look at what Filament Frenzy is putting out there at the moment, the work he's doing with that, it's a beautiful, beautiful machine and works really, really well. But it's £3,000 plus shipping. Same build volume as this. Okay. All right. That does 5 colors. This only does 4. Even if you pay £25 a roll for a roll of filament, because the way I look at it, that the XL, you're not wasting filament with your purges and everything else. But if you were to pay £25 per roll of filament, that's over 120 rolls of filament before you've got to the price of an XL. So their argument to me was, oh, you waste so much filament, all this filament you're losing, costing you a fortune. I'd have to literally buy 120 rolls of filament, and once I've used all those, I'm still only up to the same price as having bought the Prusa in the first place. So as much as I would love one, it's not viable for me. And I do think that they are lovely printers. They do print beautifully. Like I say, Shane showed me around the one at Smurf, and it was printing gloriously. But I've kind of got to the stage now in my 3D printing journey that I'm not particularly interested in fiddling about with G-code, dialing stuff in, getting stuff to work. Like James said in his stream earlier, a lot of the stuff he builds for the enjoyment of building it. Yeah, it's all right, Derek. I understand you couldn't get in from the garden because there's a chuffing great Hulk in the way and you can't get past it to get back into your house. I get that. If you haven't seen, Derek, by all means, stick a link up. Derek has built a Hulk, and that thing must be 8 foot tall. Must be. It's chuffing ginormous. He will put a link down there now. You need to go and look at that. It's phenomenal. Anyway, I've completely lost my train of thought now. Okay, yes. James was saying about all the stuff he's done on his channel, and he is in the situation that his enjoyment comes from building the stuff. And once he's built it, I mean, I'm very much the same. Once it's built, the actual using of it, that's not the exciting bit. The exciting bit was building it. And you've just spent £1,000 on building a printer or 300 quid on building a robot or whatever. And it just sits there. So my enjoyment used to be doing that, but that enjoyment has now waned. I've moved to the stage now where I want to print cool stuff. Generally Wexter minis, because they're incredibly cool. In fact, anything that Wexter produces is fairly cool. Apart from some of his friends. Some of his friends are a bit weird, but we won't go into that. Well, that's for another day. Karen, behave yourself. But yeah, I'm now just more, I want to be able to go, oh, I like that, or that'll be useful. Let's get it printed, bang a roll of filament on, bang. And this ecosystem that Bambu Labs have produced means that it's entirely possible that you can literally. I mean, they do the analogy that you can be out shopping, or you can be at so and so and think I need to do a print, and pick up your phone and pick your print that you want to print and press a button and your printer will print it. For that to happen in the real world, that printer has to be sat at home and be on. You also have to have the right filament on it to do it. And the fact that it's sat in the open, that build plate might be dusty. If you've not printed something for a week, and you're not going to get any adhesion on a build plate that's got a layer of dust on it, especially if you've got 2 dogs in the house. So I don't think that part works, but I think the ability, as much as people knock their Maker World, I've got some stuff off that. You literally look at it, go, yeah, I'd like to print that. You click on the download, it drops into your slicer. It's literally, you can click the slice and the print, and it does it. Even the multi-material ones, or the multicolor ones, should I say, as long as you've got the right colors on your spools, it'll just print it. There's no faffing about. There's no prattling about dialing anything in. My days of doing that are over. There's an awful lot of people that still do that, but I'm of the opinion, why? Why do you do it? It's when you started off with bed leveling, and you used to. Many of you on here will remember bed leveling, turning the knobs and putting your piece of paper underneath, and just wait until the drag was right, and then you go back to the back corner of the bed and you do that one, and then you have to come back to the front again and redo that. And then people started bringing bed leveling probes out, and it was everybody got automatic bed leveling because they didn't want to waste the time doing that. So the whole thing has moved on now to the point at which that you don't need to do first layer calibration. You don't need to check your nozzle to make sure it's going down, perfectly well, and you're not scoring your bed. It's taken all that. It's all that difficulty, all that time wasting is taken out of the process now, and it's more about the enjoyment of printing stuff. And whether you chuck it away, or you give it to your family, or you sell it on Etsy, or whatever you do, it's moved on. It has become the watchword that I've been hearing over this week. It is now an appliance. It's not something that needs tinkering with. It's not something that, if you leave it for a week and go back to it, you have to reset everything because everything's out of skew again. It's just simple, straightforward. And my goodness, Brit Hawk's in the chat. That's very good of you. Well done, that man. Nice to see you. Am I right in thinking you've ordered one? I've got a funny feeling I saw you write somewhere that you had ordered one. Be interesting to see what you think when you get yours. Brilliant. Good to hear it. So that's going to be a lot of vases that I can just click and print, is it? Is that the way it's going to be, is it? Is that going to be the future? So yeah, that's it for now. We're not going to build it now. I need to go and get a drink and sort a few things out and make sure that the rest of the strange people that are in my life know that I shall be back up here at 7 o'clock this evening. And like I say, now I know I can get to it and put it together on camera without tripping up over my lights or anything else. We'll crack on and do that. Lots already on Maker World. Excellent stuff. I have to go and look at those. And then we'll do a follow-up video at some point in not too distant future if I can keep the ball rolling, and we'll have it next to the X1 Carbon behind me there, next to all my lovely, lovely filament, which I can't point at. There, look. Cookie CAD filament. Lots of people very jealous at me for having cookie CAD filament, but there you go. So yeah, we'll probably set them side by side and do a couple of comparisons of speed and noise and how much my table wobbles, that kind of thing. So yeah, we'll see you later on. Thanks so much, all 11 of you who've been here, even if only 6 of you have given me the thumbs up. I'm guessing that the other 5 have given me the thumbs down, but apparently that doesn't matter. As long as there's an interaction there somewhere, that's all that matters. So thanks for that, whoever you are. Yeah, thanks to the little hardcores that have turned up. I've been on nearly an hour talking rubbish, so I'm going to stop now. In future, if I do decide to keep on doing this sort of thing, going back to doing this sort of thing, I will try and sort of improve things a little, because at the moment I'm basically got two Logitech cameras and I'm using a piece of the Logitech software to flick between the two, and then that's just being fired straight out to YouTube, and this little headset mic because I can walk around with it on. I know the audio quality isn't brilliant on it, it's a bit quiet. I know the camera quality isn't too brilliant, but it is what it is. But I might try and improve things a bit moving forward. But it's never been my style, really, has it? I'm more kind of janky and rusty and falling aparty. Anyway, thank you so much, all of you. It's been an absolute pleasure to talk to you. I can't wait to get that thing up and printing, but I will wait. I will wait till 7 o'clock. And if any of you have managed to get the kids to bed or got the other half to put the kids to bed and you want to sit down with me with a large glass of alcohol, because there'll be something here, because there always is, and we'll just put it through its paces. Like I say, we'll get it put together, see if an absolute numbskull like me can manage to do it without breaking anything. And we'll get it running. We'll do a couple of test prints. We'll look at it and we'll see how it goes. Yes, James, absolutely. Improving setups. We've slipped. We've slipped. We were all on a level at one point, and then the whole everybody else just took over and left us, and we were just left behind in the dark. If you're on here and you happen not to be subscribed, because I do know some of James's people came over, which I do appreciate. If you would like to subscribe, just click the button. You don't have to watch any of my videos. Just click the subscribe button. It's always nice to see that counter going up rather than down. In the last 18 months, my counter has only gone one way and it's been down. And fortunately, a couple of things I did for Smurf, it's actually started to slowly move up. I got 2 subscribers one day. I was really impressed. Anyway, yeah, like I say, if you haven't subscribed, please do. If you don't want notifications and you don't want to know when I'm putting anything out and talking rubbish, don't click the bell. If you do want to know when I'm going to be on and talking rubbish, click that bell and then you'll know. Like I say, if you could give me a thumbs up, that would be fantastic, because it all helps. And I'll see you all, or some of you, or maybe one of you, at 7 o'clock this evening, when we'll put this little machine together. We'll put it through its paces and we'll see what it's like. Thanks very much for watching. I'll see you at 7 o'clock. Yes, I do want to end. You see, this is the problem. I'm now stood there going, at the camera, saying, is it turned off yet? And it hasn't turned off yet because I've not pressed the button. So I'll press the button now. It's that one there that says end. Ta-ra!